This build focuses on bleed and burning, a true sign sword hybrid that melts enemies with fire and fast, deadly strikes. All of this is amplified by the most powerful mutation in the game, Euphoria. The core mechanic is adrenaline, which fuels Geralt's damage and allows stacking multiple effects for maximum devastation. Adrenaline points are gained during combat. You build them by landing hits, killing enemies, and using certain skills. Each point gives you a small bonus to attack power, but more importantly, some abilities scale directly with how many points you have. The more adrenaline you build, the more dangerous your attacks become. They also apply more damage over time effects. Skills like Razor Focus and Hunter Instinct push this even further, turning adrenaline into a multiplier for both critical hits and status effects. Euphoria is the core of this build, tying everything together. It increases your sword and sign damage by 0.75% for every point of toxicity. With the right alchemy setup and metabolic control, you reach 214 toxicity, hitting the maximum bonus of plus 150% total damage. This makes every fast attack, every fire stream cast, every bleed and poison effect significantly stronger. Whirl is your main area of effect tool. It lets Geralt slice through multiple enemies at once, applying bleed with every hit, perfect for stacking effects and gaining adrenaline quickly. Crippling Strikes applies bleed to all fast attacks. With this skill, every light hit is a wound that bleeds enemies dry. Igni is one of your main sources of damage over time, making it reliable and consistent. Melt Armor weakens enemy defenses, making them more vulnerable to both signs and sword strikes. With high sign intensity and Euphoria scaling, your fire stream burns longer, staggers more, and hits harder, even against high-level enemies. Burn damage counts as sign-based damage over time, so your toxicity level directly increases its potency. Poison Blades allows your weapon oils to apply poison, adding another layer of damage over time. Euphoria enhances this effect as well, turning every poison strike into increased sustained damage. Adrenaline fuels your momentum in combat, and thanks to the 6-piece Wolf Gear bonus, each adrenaline point allows you to apply more bleed stacks. The strategy is simple. Run 4 active decoctions to maximize toxicity. Open fights with Igni to apply burning damage and stagger enemies. Combine that with fast attacks that trigger bleed and poison. Use Whirl to clear groups while stacking damage over time effects and landing critical hits. Meanwhile, Euphoria scales everything, turning all your effects into raw, devastating damage. The build centers around the Wolven School Gear. It's a medium armor set, which means you get faster stamina regeneration without sacrificing much protection. This makes it perfect for hybrid builds that rely on signs and fast attacks. When equipped with pieces of the Wolf School set, Geralt gains bonuses that directly enhance his sword damage and bleed potential. With 3 pieces equipped, each instance of bleeding applied to enemies increases sword damage by 1%. And with the full set, each adrenaline point increases the number of bleeding effects that can be applied to a single enemy. The chest piece is enchanted with Protection, a powerful effect that automatically applies a Quen shield at the start of every fight, without costing any stamina. This gives Geralt a crucial defensive edge, especially on Deathmarch difficulty, where even a single blow can be deadly. With Protection, you don't need to pause and cast Quen manually. You can go straight into Firestream or Whirl with full confidence. It pairs perfectly with the skill Exploding Shield. When the Quen shield breaks, it knocks enemies back and deals damage, often staggering them and opening them up for counterattacks. It costs no stamina and gives you an instant shield, no matter the situation. This is crucial for a build like this, where you're casting Firestream and spamming Whirl, both of which leave you open to counterattacks. With Protection, you can go aggressive immediately, knowing Geralt is already shielded. The gloves, trousers and boots are socketed with Igni glyphs, boosting fire damage by 60% total. This stacks perfectly with your blue skill tree and the Pyromaniac passive, pushing your Firestream and Igni burn damage even higher. The result is consistent burning, stronger stagger effects, and a reliable way to open fights or finish off enemies that survive your sword. These glyphs make your fire damage even more deadly. For the weapons, Geralt wields both steel and silver Wolven swords, each enchanted with Severance. This enchantment increases the range of Whirl by 1.1 yards and Rend by 1.9 yards. It's essential to how this build plays. The extended range on Whirl dramatically improves crowd control. You're able to hit more enemies per spin, applying bleed, poison, and critical hits to multiple targets at once. And against stronger enemies or bosses, that extra range lets you safely build up bleed and poison stacks, staying out of reach while your damage over time effects do the work. Severance directly enhances the build's offensive flow, turning Whirl into a lethal area of effect tool and giving you more space to control the fight. At the heart of this build lies the Euphoria mutation, a powerful effect that increases both your sword and sign damage based on your current toxicity level. For every point of toxicity, Euphoria grants a damage boost, capping at plus 150% damage when you reach the maximum toxicity. This means every fast attack applying bleed, every whirl spinning through enemies, and every burn ignited by Igni is significantly stronger thanks to Euphoria. The more decoctions and potions you safely run to push your toxicity higher, the more devastating your damage output becomes. Because this build stacks multiple damage over time effects, Euphoria's bonus turns each layer into a multiplied threat, accelerating enemy health loss dramatically. Whirl is your primary area of effect attack. It allows Geralt to strike multiple enemies in a wide radius, applying bleed with every hit. This skill generates constant pressure on groups while stacking bleeding damage over time on several foes simultaneously. It's crucial for building adrenaline quickly, which fuels other aspects of the build. Crippling Strikes applies bleed effects with each fast attack, making every quick strike deadly over time. It pairs perfectly with Whirl, ensuring that even single-target fast attacks contribute to the damage over time pool. This keeps pressure on enemies between your heavier attacks. Precise blows increases both your critical hit chance and critical hit damage, especially for fast attacks. This skill greatly enhances burst potential by making your critical hits far more impactful. Muscle memory raises the base damage of your fast attacks. Since fast attacks are frequent and fuel your bleeding effects, this skill directly increases the damage dealt with every strike, strengthening both your single target and group damage output. Razor Focus instantly grants you 1 adrenaline point as soon as you enter combat, and it also boosts the adrenaline points you earn from sword attacks by 25%. This helps you build up adrenaline faster for stronger combat abilities. Adrenaline is a core mechanic in this build. It increases your attack power and allows you to apply more bleed stacks per enemy thanks to the Woven Gear bonus. The faster you build adrenaline, the more deadly your offense becomes. Igni Intensity increases the chance that your Igni sign will cause burning damage over time. This makes your fire attacks more reliable and lethal. Firestream is a channeled sign that deals direct damage, staggers enemies, and applies a persistent burning effect. It's excellent for crowd control and softening enemies before moving in for melee combat. Pyromaniac guarantees that enemies will catch fire when hit by Igni at high intensity. This ensures consistent application of burning damage, maximizing your fire output and maintaining pressure on every target. Melt Armor lowers enemy defenses by stripping their armor, allowing both sword attacks and signs to deal more damage. It synergizes perfectly with your fast strikes and Igni, making every hit more punishing. Exploding Shield enhances the Quen sign so that when the shield breaks, it pushes enemies back and inflicts damage. This not only offers solid defensive utility, but also creates space and openings to counter with Whirl or Firestream, keeping you in control of the fight. Acquired Tolerance increases your maximum toxicity level. Since toxicity limits how many potions and decoctions you can safely use, raising this cap allows you to fully benefit from the build's reliance on multiple decoctions to maximize both damage and survivability. Synergy boosts the effectiveness of mutagens, increasing the bonuses they grant. Hunter Instinct doubles your critical hit damage against a specific enemy type, but only when your adrenaline points are full. This makes your attacks much deadlier at peak adrenaline. Poison Blades causes enemies to suffer poison damage over time when struck with a sword coated in oil. This adds yet another damage over time layer to the build, working alongside Bleed and Burn to make each strike even more punishing. Metabolic Control increases your maximum toxicity by 30 points, allowing you to safely run 4 decoctions at once. This is essential for reaching the full plus 150% damage bonus from Euphoria, making it a cornerstone of both your sustainability and overall damage output. Focus boosts your overall combat power by increasing both weapon damage and sign intensity based on how many adrenaline points you have. The more adrenaline you build, the stronger your attacks and signs become. To unlock the full potential of this build, Geralt must consume 4 powerful decoctions before stepping into battle. These potent alchemical brews push his toxicity to the maximum, unleashing the full plus 150% damage boost granted by Euphoria. Decoctions last for a full 30 minutes of real time and remain active across multiple encounters. They don't need to be brewed again after each fight. Instead, they automatically replenish after meditation, provided you have strong alcohol in your inventory. You can obtain the bottomless carafe, an endless source of alcohol. With it, every meditation fully restores your decoctions, making this setup incredibly reliable and sustainable. Before heading into combat, drink these 4 decoctions to max out your toxicity. Katakan Decoction boosts critical hit chance, perfectly synergizing with precise blows, hunter instinct, and whirl. Ancient Leshen Decoction accelerates stamina recovery during combat. Echidna Decoction. Each time Geralt spends stamina, casting Igni, dodging or using whirl, he regenerates vitality. This turns your offense into a stream of healing, sustaining you through the fiercest fights. Troll Decoction provides steady vitality regeneration even while engaged in combat. It offsets the passive damage caused by max toxicity, letting you maintain all 4 decoctions without draining your health. By far the best bomb for this build is Dancing Star, a fiery explosive that perfectly amplifies Geralt's Igni-focused combat style. Dancing Star detonates in a wide radius, dealing intense fire damage and applying a high chance to inflict burn on all enemies caught in its blast. Burn not only deals devastating damage over time, but also throws foes into panic, breaking their formations, interrupting their attacks, and creating perfect openings for your fast strike. This bomb acts as a natural extension of your fire stream and Igni setup. Used before charging in, it softens entire groups, layering damage over time effects before your blade even meets their flesh. Against humans, monsters, or cursed ones, the chaos it unleashes can decisively turn the tide of battle. It's especially deadly in tight corridors, narrow paths, or ambushes where enemies cluster. For ranged utility, the best crossbow in the game is the Geralt of Rivia's crossbow. It's ideal for situations where melee isn't an option, like when facing drowners in deep water, sirens in the air, or griffins circling above. With the crossbow equipped, you gain a reliable method to ground aerial enemies, interrupt enemy abilities, or finish off weakened targets from a distance. Before entering any battle, a prepared Witcher always applies the correct oil to his blades, and with this build, that step becomes even more important. Using the proper sword oil grants a bonus to attack power against specific enemy types. With the poisoned blade skill active in your alchemy tree, these oils imbue your sword strikes with poison. That means every hit has a chance to apply poison damage over time, stacking alongside bleed effect from crippling strikes and burn from Igni. It turns your fast attacks into a cocktail of suffering, and because you're using fast attacks and whirl, you're applying these effects rapidly across multiple enemies. These are Geralt's stats for this build. It's a well-balanced setup that delivers fast, engaging combat and rewards precise use of Igni and quick attacks to take down monsters efficiently. These are the hard-earned ability points Geralt must gather on his path, the full measure of skill and experience required to master this build and unlock its true potential. To enhance the visual experience and fully capture the intensity of combat, several carefully chosen mods have been used, each one selected to preserve the soul of the original game while elevating its cinematic quality. Thanks for watching. If you found this build helpful, leave a like and subscribe for more serious Witcher content. Until next time, this was The Dark Voice.